Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $5 a month or $54 a year. So, on the last Let's Play, we came home, told Diego about the situation that we're now broken up again because Ty said he loves Spencer and wouldn't tell us any deets because it's a matter of life and death for some reason. But then also that Spencer's a vampire because he's been alive since the beginning of Woodcrest. Either that or his, grandfather or something like that founded the town. Because it's like, it's weird. We have this picture, and this guy looks like Spencer. It's like he's related to him in some form. It's like, I mean, sure. But anyways, oh yeah, did that picture also have, other guys in it? Not sure. But now it's day 14. Reset face. And begin. My dreams came to a jarring halt as Diego's knocking tore me from my blissful slumber. I groaned as I grappled with the weight of my eyelids, desperately fighting to keep my eyes open as I rolled over to face the door and regretted access to my newfound visitor. Sorry, reading yawns. Also am tired. Well, I am now. Come in. Shit. I'm sorry for waking you, dude. It just, well... Also, we're unemployed, at least with regards to ties. It's late. Can't really call it breakfast anymore, if you eat it past noon. Huh? Hope you're hungry. In my freshly woken drowsiness, I'd failed to notice the plate, which had accompanied Diego into the room. Carefully stacked upon it, wobbling precariously with every small movement, was something of a hybrid between our typical breakfast boigas and Eggs Benedict. With a smile that betrayed his concern, Diego rested the plate on top of my dresser before shifting over to the bed and perching himself on the edge. His thick tail brushed to and fro with an admirable vigor, disturbing the blanket, which mercifully covered my legs, which were secretly and unusually bare. Despite being in the midst of a fall, the night prior had been warmer than I anticipated. An intriguing curiosity, I had always slept better and far greater ease when I was snuggled up in a thick, warm blanket. I suppose that in a way, it was my version of sleeping with a stuffed animal or clutching a pillow. Back in Sidonia, I had portable air conditioner. Alas, it was sold alongside the rest of my belongings. So last night, I stripped down, keeping my thick blankets and the associated comforts. I just hoped that my nudity in such proximity to Diego would remain secret, lest we have an awkward repeat of the scene a night before last. I got a little fancy with our breakfasts this morning. Already eaten mine, cooked yours after, so it's fresh. You can personally vouch that it's still good. I can personally vouch it's still good. Still, can't believe you slept so late. It made sense. After all, I had switched my alarm clock off the previous night. My one remaining employer had not requested my presence, and thus I had the day off to do it with as I pleased. Sadly, having enjoyed so much sleep, I felt groggier and more tired now than ever before. I required an immense surge of effort to prop myself up against my pillow, which in turn was simply propped up against the wall behind me, offering a semi-comfortable position in which to sit upright. Of course, in spite of my tiredness and sheer hypocrisy of Diego's cynicism over the time of my awakening was not lost on me, considering his dramatic performance the day before. While I could have merely let it slide, I was not content to allow any opportunity to tease my best friend slip by unexploited. If I recall, wasn't your cranky-ass grumbling about being woken up so early about this time yesterday? What? That's different. It's not, though. It is. Oh yeah? How? It... Shut up. I unleashed a deliberately exaggerated snort as Diego grumbled in indignation. However, in a move very much unlike him, he then promptly dropped the topic, instead choosing to pursue on that what we had previously one that had obviously been in the forefront of his mind throughout the entire morning. Hey, I just wanted to say, Diego haven't even arrived at the intended topic before becoming frustrated. Flustered? Of course, I knew right away what it was going to be, and found it a little strange that, despite having similar discussion before, he still found it hard to bear his more sensitive side. I hope you're doing okay, man. I don't want to say that I know what you're feeling right now, but I have at least some idea. You know? What happened between Kyrex and I? It was different, but it sucked in a very similar way. And I don't want you to think that I'm saying that. I'm making shit all about myself either. I've been called out on that before, and that's not it. I understand, Diego. I know that you're in it. Fuck, I can't read today. I know that for you, it's a form of empathy, just not one that everybody seems to recognize or consider to be valid. You're trying to express your understanding and sympathy by relating my experiences to your own. You've been there before, and you know how much it sucks. Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, I just caught myself doing it, and, well, I've been caught out on it before, so I just want to make sure it didn't seem like I was just hijacking the situation. You're my best friend, Diego. Have been for years and years. I know you better than that. But even then, you haven't talked a lot about Kyrex, or about what went down, and you know, you're welcome to if you feel the need. Thanks, dude, but nah. Not right now, anyway. I've had weeks to process everything. You've had hours. So, yeah. I know you guys weren't dating long. Like, seriously, it's been less than 2 weeks. In the right situation, you know the right person. I guess it doesn't take long to sort of fall in love, you know? The thing about long relationships is habit and codependence. You sort of become used to life with their involvement, used to them being there. They're such a big part of your life that they almost become part of you. When you lose that, you almost have to rebuild yourself, fill in that egg-shaped void in your life. But the other thing is about long relationships is that unless you're super lucky and find the person who completes you or some shit, your feelings tend to settle over time. And if things suck, especially for a long time, the hardest part is just filling that void. The unfamiliarity of life after love. Life after love, life. Do something. Sorry. You know, in the first few weeks of my relationship with Kyrex, if you asked me if I left him, I'd have said yes. Things are super intense in the beginning. I mean, maybe not in all the right ways, but I got caught up in all of that, and emotionally. I went on all in. With you and Ty, geez, things for you guys were even more intense. I always noticed these things, like how you always smiled when you talked about him, even if you didn't notice it, or how much admiration you clearly had for him. I know that you did the same. You went all in. Even that second time, after that little hiccup, you didn't entirely trust him, but you still banked everything on him. That's... I don't know. I guess it's often a big mistake, and one that you only really make once. One that most people make out of recklessness or inexperience. One that cuts so deep when it goes awry that you might never do it again, even for the right person. Leaves one hell of a scar. I speak from experience. How stupid. Ignored so many red flags. Ignored my gut. I gave my heart to him. And it just came back shattered into tiny pieces. Sorry, I know I said I wasn't gonna hijack this. Am I on the right track so far? I understood what Diego was saying. I had gone all in for Ty. I gave him my heart without hesitation or trepidation. I gave him my trust, or perhaps, more poignantly, my faith. All for what, exactly? Was I just his plaything? A toy for his amusement? And what about Spencer? Was he the one of Ty's playthings? Were there others besides just he and I? Was Spencer even into that sort of thing? I mean, I guess we could do a poly route with Spencer, but anyways, he obviously knew that Ty and me were together. Maybe that was part of the thrill? I knew I'd gotten lost in a mental tangent. I know I had no grounds for a lot of what I felt. They were a product of my anger, of my disappointment, of my shattered hopes and dreams. But a shattered heart? I wasn't so sure. It wasn't hurting quite like that. Or was? I don't know. Maybe it never would. Maybe I'd gotten carried away and fooled myself into thinking that I felt some way that I didn't about him. Maybe my heart wasn't damaged after all. Or perhaps. Dude? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about it all. Honestly, I'm just angry. Pissed off at Ty. Disappointed. Things are good between us. At least, I thought they were. I just can't believe he had feelings for someone else. Yeah, man. I get it. I guess... I don't know. For me, I was mad at him for a long time. You know, technically, we were still a thing. And it wasn't holding his head in the bargain, or whatever. It happened slowly. So, my anger grew slowly. It was a way later that I found the hurt. I found because, well, I was kind of like that. I didn't think I was hurting or anything. I was just mad. Furious even. I knew full well he was sleeping with someone. Made my blood boil. When I finally dumped his ass, he left a few things at my house, some time before. I considered, burning them or whatever, but he wasn't even worth the effort, so I tossed them out on the porch, texted him to come pick up his damn shit. In the days after that, they just sat there. I knew that as long as they were still there, he would still be paying me one last visit. I was angry and numb. I didn't feel anything else. Once or twice, I caught my mind drifting to this hypothetical scenario where he'd turn up with flowers or some other gay-ass shit. You know, he'd apologize and beg for my forgiveness. I'd noticed that something had changed or whatever, and agreed to take him back on certain conditions. And then things would go back to how they used to be. Things would be good again. I hated that fantasy. It was stupid. Unrealistic. I knew better than that. Logically, I knew that I'd done the right thing, but... Anyway, one morning I checked the mail and his shit was still out there. That afternoon, I went out to get some groceries and shit. When I went out the front door, they were gone. I guess that's when it struck me. His things were there, knowing that he'd be around. That stupid fantasy. My emotional state had been holding on by a thread. That thread specifically. That remote possibility. That far-flung fantasy. And now, they're gone. He'd been. And he'd gone. There were no flowers, no note, no apologies, no forgiveness, no happy ending. And the last glimmer of hope had been exhausted, and I had been plunged into cold darkness of reality. You know, in those action movies, when they blew up the dam, and then with dynamite or whatever, it was like that. It completely annihilated me. It was the day I realized that that'd been over for a long time, that I just hadn't come to terms with it yet. I cried pretty much constantly for days and days. Never got groceries. Ty had given me time off, and was even kind enough to check up on me. He did some shopping on my behalf. He even sat down with me and tried his best to help me out. Some time ago. Diego, when you get to my age, it is easy to think that you've seen it all before, to think that your wealth of experience over the years makes you some kind of authority when it comes to life. But I consistently surprise myself. Just when I think I've seen it all, I find myself treading unfamiliar waters yet again. Everyone is a learning experience, but you soon enough realize that they're never gonna stop coming. So I was just checking something. I have had my heart broken before, a number of times in fact. I have experienced bad relationships, experienced messy breakups. Unrequited love, all of it. You learn from them and think, I know what to do and what not to do next time. But next time comes along, and those lessons are rarely applicable to those new and unique circumstances. And when it all goes awry, I know no matter how many times you have been there before, it always hurts just like the first time. But why? He never even liked me. He never treated me well. He was an ass from day one. And why the hell does it hurt like this? Why is it so hard? These things hurt like they do when you truly love somebody. Even if that person did not love you back. Even if the experience was only but brief. And while the relationship may have been a mistake, genuinely, loving somebody is a gift worth cherishing, regardless of right or wrong. Regret your choices, your actions, your words, but never regret your love. I hate him. So much. I hate that I meant nothing to him. I hate that I was just a fucking plaything to him. He didn't give a fuck about me. He wasted nearly a year of my life. He's the reason I put on all this fucking weight. Not even an apology. I hate him. I know, you have every right. What happened to you was unfair. Love often is, I'm afraid. You know, it's not long ago that I fell for somebody. He was not my unusual fare, but there was something about him. It's hard to explain, but I found myself drawn to him. I just had to know more about him, and the more time I spent in his presence, the stronger that urge would grow. I already knew that no amount of experience would prepare me for every scenario, but even then, the specifics of this relationship, were something else entirely. I loved him, genuinely, but it simply was not meant to be. It hurt as bad as every preceding separation, maybe even a little more, but I am proud of the lessons I took away from it. I'm proud of the love I felt for him. I do not regret loving him, but I'm sad things had to end like the way they did. And, just like you, I subconsciously shielded myself from the pain, my mind scrambling to protect myself from yet another excruciating heartbreak. The hardest thing is, we never quite found closure. Part of me still does not realize it is truly over. There are tears to be shed, and honestly, that is somehow harder than the alternative. I know how you are feeling right now. It is deeply unpleasant, but it is still a step in the right direction. You're on the path to recovery, to a brighter future. A new dawn, if you will. These things can endure for a long time before you truly get over them. The immediate hurt might fade, leave an adult egg that persists for a long, long time. I promise you, it will only get easier from here. All you can do is stand tall and be strong. The only way out is through, and be glad that this hurts. And all that means that has meant something to you, and that is the most important above all else. Yeah, I know that his words are probably the last thing you want to hear right now. I forgot it was Ty. I'm sorry about that, but a lot of what he said really made sense to me. Maybe it makes some sense to you too. I ain't so good with that sort of shit myself. When was this exactly? A few days after Kyrix and I broke up. So, not that long before you shifted up here. Why is that? I don't know. He never mentioned that to me. I guess it wasn't important. Huh? You don't think? Nah, he spoke in past tense with you, right? What I heard yesterday was present tense and future tense. The fact that he even told you that tells me it's nothing to do with Spencer. And say it was, why couldn't he just tell me that? I mean, I guess, but, thinking about it, he was still kind of vague. He didn't want to shift the focus, I guess. You work differently. You empathize, relating other people's experiences to your own. I suppose you could call it logical empathy. Ty's empathy is more of an emotional kind. He wasn't comparing. He was proving context for a statement, providing. I guess? Oh, hey, that reminds me. You never actually told me what that damn raven said yesterday. Oh, you're right. I guess with everything that happened afterwards, it kind of slipped my mind. It was kind of strange, actually. If I recall, the topic started with a factoid relating to Ortega and Firewater, and then it just sort of snowballed from there. Have you heard about DCD? Doomsday Clock Distorter? I've heard the name before. Don't know what it's about, though. It's this weird genetic disease, or something, I guess. Spencer explained it better than I can. But basically, there's these genes in all of us that have basically always been there, but used to be like switched off or something. For some reason, everybody is active now, and eventually it'll cause all of us to go extinct if we can't find the solution. Shit, that sounds kinda serious. You think people would know more about it? Yeah, Spencer said something like that. Like how it doesn't kill anybody, and doesn't mess with the quality of life or anything. And nobody alive right now is going to see the end anyway. Out of sight, out of mind, or some shit. But basically, it skews the gender balance over time. Fewer females born, more males. It also sharply increases homosexuality, eventually makes a species infertile, although that hasn't happened yet. At least, not to most of us. Ortegans are apparently like 200 years ahead of the rest of us. They're right at the end of it, and won't be around much longer. What the hell even is an Ortegan? I don't think I've ever met one. They're dragons. I've mentioned Jay, right? Apparently he's one. Rare subspecies too. There's this super weird pecking order thing where they intermingle, which determines which species the species of the offspring. Apparently, southern winter dragons are recessive or something, and that other parent species will always take precedence. So, sorry, I'm tired. But I wanna, I'm kind of plowing through this game. It will. So, both had to be southern winter dragons if they want the offspring to match. I mean, they could also both hold recessive genes and get, like, a southern winter dragon. Don't know if that has anything to do with DCD, or if that's just a weird thing about Ortegans or southern winter dragons. But Ortegans aren't far from being totally extinct. And southern winter dragons in particular are numbered in the hundreds worldwide. Hundreds? Holy fuck. That's awful. So Jay is, like, kinda special, huh? He'd be special even if it weren't a rarity. Just you wait until you meet him. But yeah, I never knew this until yesterday. He never mentioned anything. I don't think I'm gonna raise the topic with him either. Fair enough, man. I gotta meet this guy at some point, or dude. But anyway, forget about that. Why'd Spencer tell you this? What does it mean? I don't know. He chose the drink, but I'm the one who pushed him to tell me the full story. I guess I was trying to prolong the encounter. Hoped I'd learn something. It's probably nothing. Just coincidence. I don't know, man. That whole thing, and with Ty, and what Ty said to me that day, I ain't discounting neither. I really don't think that's anything either. Well, I can tell, the thing with Spencer's ongoing, the thing he told you was about the past, right? Yeah, but I still don't know, man. Anyway, you realize I'm trying to console you and shit. And we got totally waylaid. You're the one who asked about what Spencer said. Shh! Don't make me take responsibility for my own actions. Forget about all this other shit. Did anything Ty said to me help you at all? Again, I know shit he said is probably the last thing you want to hear. Just can't believe that one of those lessons he didn't learn was honesty. Come on, dude. That ain't even what you're supposed to be taking away from all this. I know. I don't know. He said some good things, I guess. But all in all, I'm doing fine. I don't think... But are you sure it's not some delayed reaction or whatever? Ty suggested that's how he felt back then, and I'm sure as hell he felt that way himself. Maybe part of you hasn't realized it's over yet. Okay, I'm a bit confused. I feel like I know somewhere deep down if that's the case. You'd be surprised, man. I mean, I was. But I could be wrong. Maybe you're okay. Things were short-lived, after all. And with that break you had, maybe you anticipate this. Maybe you're prepared for it somehow. I don't know, man. What you're feeling right now might not be the full spectrum of your emotions, so. It might seem like your anger is the dominant force right now, but you might be blocking out grief that's way more severe. So consider that when you're making decisions and whatnot. Instead of acting on anger, remember that grief, even if you're not feeling it. Consider act on that instead, because the mistakes you might make out of anger might be far worse. Thanks for looking out for me, Diego. I'll bear that in mind. Good. You're still gonna follow through, right? Find the truth about all of this? You're angry about it. That's one reason to find out. And maybe the truth still hasn't set any repressed emotions free too? That's another good reason. Yeah, not gonna lie. I wish I could rewind time to the afternoon they visited Eric's house after he dropped that strange stage light on his foot, like a dumbass. I told you about that, right? Yep. You got talking about dudes you were into, and that's what made you go after Ty in the first place. Exactly. What if I could load a save game? I'm wondering if... Nah. Like it was some kind of video game or something. What if I could just give Eric a different answer? Or maybe even the damn rat. To fend for himself and avoid the entire shit show altogether. How different things could be. Maybe there's alternate timelines running parallel. Different versions of me dating different people. Those versions would be happier. I did make the worst possible decision in pursuing Ty. Jeez, dude, enough with the multiverse mumbo jumbo. That sort of crap makes my head hurt just thinking about it. Sorry. It's just so frustrating that my time with him was all a waste. I find out his damn secrets. If it's the last thing I do, I'll find out. The fact that he doesn't want me to know, that's good enough reason for me to find out. Damn right, my dude. We're gonna unravel this stupid mystery. My dude? Jeez, sounds like Russell's rubbing off on you. Hey, for what it's worth, I said it first. He just used it way too much, dude. Are you sure you said it first? Maybe you've just taken a liking to and want to be more like him. Maybe you're craving a bit of shark, eh, Diego? Dude? What? I ain't into seafood. Besides, fish are weird with their gills. And smooth scales. And shit. Besides, sharks have, like, what Diego had in his mind is clearly going to be a sharp turn in our conversation, just by his embarrassed expression and his nervous scratching on the fur of his neck. They have 2 dogs, right? It just doesn't sit right with me, man. What do you even do with the second one? Wait, do they? I'm telling you, dude, I'm sure they have 2. No way. I'm sure I was. I'm sure I was. I realized that I, too, was about to guide the conversation in a rather inappropriate direction, but considering the topic we're already discussing and how casually my relationship with Diego had been of late, I proceeded with my statements and bridled. I was watching porn a while back in Sidonia, one night after work, and, there was a shark in it, I think. It was kind of grainy. Mansionette was ass in the apartment. Rats chewed the wires. So wait, they have feral rats? So I had to go to the cellar. Reception was rough, probably because the building was old and concrete. Full bars outside, but only 2 bars, with the router by the window. And then I was competing with every other Wi-Fi network in the building for bandwidth. Anyway, it was a mess. This game really does love to go on tangents. Because I'm like, this episode, and it's like, oh right. It's gonna be an entire episode where I don't leave my room. Hey, come on, get to the point. I wanna hear about the porn. That's such a you thing to say, Diego. Shut up. Basically, I'm pretty sure one of the dudes was a shark, and I'm pretty sure he only had 1. Dude, seriously? Swear on my life, they have 2. That makes no sense. Why would they need 2? Everyone else just has 1. Okay then, dude. How do we make this a bet? I directed my firm gaze to Diego's direction, assessing whether his bet would be worth taking. I was certain it'd only have been 1. Diego was hardly a font of biological knowledge, and come to think of it, I could think of something worth the wager. Alright, Diego, let's make it a bet. But I have one condition. Hey, slapping conditions on things at the last minute is my shtick. Then maybe you could consider settling better examples for your impressionable best friends, eh? Here's my condition. And if I am right, you accept my damn rent money without any further arguments. And you don't return it. Still want to take the bet? I mean, duh. It's not like that'll happen. Because, I'm right. And you know what? Seeing as I am right, you have no qualms about keeping your damn money and never offering to pay rent again. I resume my firm stare, this time promptly matched by Diego. Our surroundings were eerily silent with the atmosphere of thick tension. My imaginary tumbleweed skipping haphazardly across the ground between us. I faced my opponent, the roughest, toughest, most dastardly dingo, for miles around. My hand was poised by my waist, at the ready to put on one between his eyes. Draw. What? Deal. Oh, deal. Feeling like a bit of a fool, I extended my hand to Diego, offering to seal the deal with an officious handshake, which Diego quickly obliged. As soon as my hand was uncoupled, I reached for my phone. Oh, that's in-game. Retrieved it from the charger, and pulling up the browser in incognito mode. What are you doing? Settling our bet. I'm gonna find me a nice naked shark. Heh, you're really that impatient. Just wait until the hot springs. You get to feast your eyes in person, my dude. With all the relationship chatter and anatomical skepticism, I totally forgotten that I agreed to meet with Dom, Axel, and Russell at the hot springs. You're right, but I don't really want to get caught eyeing up Russell's junk. Dude, you only need a quick peek. Just trust me. I speak from experience. You can't trust the internet. Like I did. Find out for years about how cats have barbs on theirs freaky shit, man. Dude, seriously, stop messing with me. They definitely have barbs. I mean, I should know. I did just get done dating a tiger. Wait, no way, he didn't. Nope. Has my entire life been a lie? Maybe it's just some species. It has to be. Ty's the only cat I've ever been with. Dude, Axel. Oh, hell no. You want me to perv on poor sweet Axel as well? Hey, it ain't perving. It's for science. Actually, 35, 40. Geez, at this rate, I might as well perv on Dom too. Complete, full sets. Like, some kind of token bathhouse creep. Dude, it ain't like that. Doms can like us. We don't need to look. We already know that we all have knots. Right? Oh, wait. Oh god. Come now. You got a faceful mind the other night. You know we match up. But foxes, they're like, not quite the same, right? They're different and shit. So are dingoes, if you wouldn't be difficult about it. But we're not that different. We kind of look like you, normal fancy dogs. Foxes are further out still. Dude, I'm having a crisis here. You gotta look at it for me. I sighed with considerable irritation. This problem should be solved so quickly, with a quick search. It hardly seemed necessary to find out in person like this. Perhaps the solution would be to avert my eyes at the hot springs and go on the hunt for some videos in private later on. That way, I could answer the question and pretend as though I'd done as Diego had asked. Then again, would that in itself be weird? Looking at porn stand-ins for all of your friends? Damn, I hadn't gone out of bed and say had already gone off the damn rails. You know, if you really want to know, maybe you should come tag along yourself? I told you already, man. It's just a level of gay I can't handle. Besides, even if I wanted to, we've got work real soon, or I got work real soon. That explains the work clothes, I guess. Hey, it's me working for Ty. Is that okay? Well, with, you know, Diego, you have mortgage, and, while you be keeping my damn money, because you're wrong about the sharks having two dicks, it doesn't cover it up alone. Ignoring every other possible reason, you should stick around, if only for the financial one. But I'm still on the books, with old Lucas, you know. Ty and Lucas had an agreement where Ty had dibs, and for a good while now, it's only been him and me. So, I guess I'm saying is even though you never see me there, I do work there, honest. A point being, I could tell Ty to take a hike if that's what's best. Lucas has been stressing like crazy lately. Besides, you working for him occasionally. He could just got a horny ass rat and hopefully knotted fox flanking his ranks. He could use me. I would be fine. Don't take the risk for me. What if you're not? And what if Lucas' contracts dry up and doesn't need any help? What then? You're only on call like me. And, by the sounds of things, it's just him and the horniest rat today. He could have called in, but he didn't. Yeah, that's probably because he knows what happened between you and Ty. Sure, you act like you're doing okay, but he doesn't know that. You're forgetting the other times things went pear-shaped between Ty and me. Lucas called me in when he didn't even... Pear-shaped? Never heard that. Didn't even need me, just to keep an eye on me. Ty told me it was Lucas' idea too, not his. I feel like he doesn't know, and doesn't need me besides. In other words, he has no work for me. I don't know, dude. Didn't you sleep through most of your shit last time around? Maybe he doesn't want to pay you to sleep on the job again. Diego, regardless why I'm not there today, my point stands, you're better sticking with Ty, at least for now. The expression on Diego's face still conveyed uncertainty. I scratched my chin, trying my hardest to conjure up some kind of justification for him stating that he would find agreeable. Thankfully, I came up and just put dispute to rest. Think about this. Wait, Diego, you're trying to figure out what's the deal is, right? Same for Spencer, who, need I remind you, visited Ty's bar just yesterday. With me out of the picture, I need you to be my inside man, keeping an eye on coming things and looking for clues. What did you say, Inspector Diego? I sure hope that task is not beyond your capabilities. Hey, it's not. Jeez, your mockery. Is your mockery thanks I get for considering your feelings? But, okay, over fluffing aside, you got a valid point. I'll stick around. Ty's been good to me and all that, and it kinda sucks being caught in the middle. Honestly, I don't know what to do. I guess I wanted to know what's going on as much as you do. I don't really want to make any big decisions without looking at the bigger picture. No matter what, I've got your back through this, okay? You and me, we go way back. No matter what happens, I'm sticking to you every step of the way. Thanks, Diego. I really appreciate your support. Diego smiled at me before reaching blindly behind him with his left hand and peeling the blankets under which I lay. Incidentally, he did so in the exact location of my junk. I rapidly threw my poker face, hoping he hadn't realized what had just happened. Question mark? Things are about to get awkward again. Dude, you've gotten a little squishy. Maybe you should get back on these breakfasts, huh? Wouldn't want you to end up like me. Rude. I'll relax. It's my fault, really. It's all the crazy meals we shared, and I bet those dates you went on with he who shall not be named didn't help much either. With a grin, Diego stood up from the bed and stretched his arms, in sync with a massive and over-dramatic yawn. Well, it's about that time. Ty messaged me earlier, and thank goodness! Asked me to start an hour early at 1 p.m., meaning I should have left 5 minutes ago. But let's be honest, he's lucky I didn't tell him to get bent. He messaged you? Did he say anything about, Don't go on another tangent! Nah, he didn't. He was actually weirdly concise. I think that's probably by design. Clear sign he doesn't give a shit. I don't know about that man. Maybe he doesn't know what to say. Maybe he knows he fucked up big time, and doesn't want to rock the boat any further. Or maybe you're right. Maybe he's been after all. Maybe I keep an eye on him today. I'll find out for sure. You do that. Thanks, Diego. I appreciate the concern for me. Even if Ty doesn't care, at least I know my best friend has back. Always, dudes, you can count on me. Have a good day at work. We'll try. You ought to crack into that breakfast, man. I'm probably half cold by now. Yes, because it's been like 42 minutes. Oh, and enjoy the Helligate pool party. Oh, and remember, it's for science. For science. Sure. See you tonight, Diego. Catch you, man. With Diego's departure, I once again had the room to myself, reached over to the bedside table, drew my plate of breakfast, rested on my lap, digging into it with a knife and fork. I tossed bite after bite in my mouth, unsure of what to expect. Damn, those not half bad. Checking my phone. Precious little time remained before I too would have to leave. I agreed to meet Dom and the others at the hot springs at 1:30 p.m. Diego just left about 5 minutes too late to reach on time, and the hot springs were about 10 minutes further away. If I did the math, and I knew I had 15 minutes to get ready, I accelerated my eating pace, hoping to get as much rapid consumption hoping that such rapid consumption would result in indigestion. Carefully strategized that my remaining 10 minutes would be spent once breakfast had been eaten. So I have mind to go to the shower, thinking I'd just bathe in the hot springs anyway, but then again I remember the camping trip, and I bathed in the river instead, but I wound up with a bit of fragrance regardless. I sighed as I tossed the final bite of breakfast in my mouth before hopping out of the bed and departed my room wanting nothing else but my birthday suit. Thankfully, Diego had left several minutes ago, and heck, now how naked I'm going to be later on, call it practice. Couldn't believe that I was going to a additional hot spring with 3 of my friends. As I stood in the shower and water, I struggled not to lose focus. Remember, I should have cut it there. and needed to leave very soon. The water floats running down through my fur, and surely the hot spring would only feel better. And hell, maybe Diego was right, and this whole thing was a little gay. Who cares? There ain't nothing sexual about it, except for perhaps Diego's insistence that I take inventory of my friends down the stairs loadout. And, as so far as I knew, each of them had an interest in. Of course if I was remembering correctly, both Dom and Russell were bi, which... Dom's bi. Which only left Axel, which I assumed was gay, but maybe even he was liable to be flexible sometimes. Pah. Not any of that knowledge was change anything. I was gonna be naked around 3 dudes. And what if it was super gay? What was the problem? Perhaps a day ago, at a seemingly distant time, in which I was spoken for, I could have been valid reason for objection, but last night, that all went out the window and I had nothing to lose, nothing to fear, so yeah, this was going to be gay as hell. And I was intent on enjoying each and every second to the fullest. Maybe with everything that had happened and sort of gay, like this would be exactly what the doctor ordered. Fucking hell. Like, don't get me wrong. I like this game. Maybe I just need to, like, take a break from visual novels for a hot second, especially this one. But it's also that thing where it's like... They said that Ty's route's a bit long, but good God, they just chew the dialogue like they're getting paid for every single word. It's like... We go over the same topic several times in different directions, and it's just like... Oh, from one change of scene to another, it's about 46 fucking minutes. Well, whatever. So that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So please comment, because I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to help it grow. Please remember, spay near your animals to help control the pet population. And if you're interested in playing this game, then it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, Patreon. And until next time on Let's Play, me, GamerWolfSix, Sileo Tales of New Dawn. A game where they spend a good 46 minutes in a room talking about the same thing in different ways. Whatever. Thanks and see ya.